Good day, America. And this is Solutions for Life. I'm Dr. Gerald Coy. This program is brought to you by the Sheriff Foundation, a public, nonprofit charitable organization dedicated to the advancement of natural health care services, especially that in chiropractic, nutrition, and other alternative health care services. Today we're going to talk about solutions. Over the last several weeks and months, I have been great at ranting and raving, well, this is Rant Radio, so that's appropriate, about our problems in healthcare services. And, today we're going to see if we can come up with a few solutions. It's one thing to talk about the problems, and in the course of events, we've talked about whether or not healthcare is a right or a privilege. We've talked about the challenges that we have with doctors, with hospitals, with attorneys. We have talked about problems in healthcare with in sports and a lot of different other areas. We've had guests who have talked about acupuncture, oriental medicine. We've talked about chiropractic, and we will continue this series in talking about a lot of alternatives that are available to you. But we need to go over and see if we can find solutions that we can promote, that we can develop through our politicians. The politicians listen to the people, that is, if there's enough people. Otherwise, they just listen to those who come in with the money. So if they want your vote, they need to listen to what your needs are. So what is a solution in healthcare? First place, the biggest solution, and we'll repeat this at the end of the show, the biggest solution is prevention. But prevention is not a bunch of immunizations. The prevention is not more drugs in your system. Preventions aren't more doctors. Prevention isn't more hospitals. It isn't more government intervention. Prevention is what you do, how you live your life, your lifestyle. I've tried to explain what health is. We had what was called the Wheel of Health, and we discussed how health is made up of various spokes. If a Wheel of Health, the spokes are made up of diet, exercise, environment, your genes, which you're given, you don't have too much control over, but also your lifestyle and other aspects of the natural world that you live in. So I was talking to a young lady yesterday, and her life is out of control. She came into the office very close to 200 pounds overweight. Now we have a medical solution. Medicine has claimed that she is obese, therefore they want to treat her as a disease, and they want to do surgery, or they want to give her drugs that will cause more problems in her health and everything else. But it is a serious situation. And I told her that as we discussed this, do you want to lose weight? Do you want to be responsible for your health? Or are you going to give it to other people to do whatever they wish to do? Because if she doesn't want to be responsible, then that might be an alternative. If she refuses to accept making changes in her life, eating right and doing the things that are necessary, then she might need for somebody else to intervene. Because there is an addiction in eating that needs to be overcome. And in that sense, I will concede an emotional pathology in being overweight. But as far as a disease, no, it is a choice. We eat what we choose to eat. So I sat down with the lady, and as she discussed with me, no, she wanted to be responsible for her health. She wanted to make changes. She was looking for guidance, not control of her life, but guidance and how I might help her. So we discussed this in various phases. We wanted to know what she was doing as far as now. How did this weight add on? She'd had 3 children. The stress of having children, raising children, feeding children can be a lot on a mother. And she discussed the fact that when she was in high school, she was a little bit chunky. But as the years went on, by the time she hit her mid-20s, she had gained a lot of weight. She gained weight with each one of the children. Now she was up to over 300 pounds. but she wanted to change it because she knew the condition she was in was not healthy. We looked at her legs and the circulation in her legs, which was probably the crisis that was bringing her into our office, because the legs were beginning to show damage from the obesity, from pathology that was beginning to develop, and she needed to make some changes. And I wanted her to recognize the fact that if she wanted to keep those legs, she needed to make a change in her life. And I didn't want to really scare her, but I wanted her to understand that if she did not make changes, things could be very, very serious. Not just the diabetes, which is life-threatening, but heart conditions, joint problems, even the development of cancers and everything else due to obesity. There's over 300,000 deaths related to obesity every year. Now, I said it's related, not caused by the pathology called obesity, but the fact that we make bad choices. On many of the shows, I've discussed my delight with Dr. Oz, a medical doctor who I don't totally agree with, but a doctor who's trying to get people to become more aware. And in this, he talks about your health and the chronic conditions in life. And for a lot of people, obesity is really a chronic condition that they have to deal with. But these are due to the choices we make. 80% of our chronic conditions is due to the choices we make. That's what he did. Before he'd make that comment, I used to say 70%. So I've increased it another 10% because of Dr. Oz. So we went into the conversation with this young lady, with her child who was sitting there that adored her, loved her, and I know would like her to be around for a long, long time. And we discussed what she was consuming. And she talked about the sugared drinks, that they had the sodas in the house. And she talks about the multiple breads that she would eat and the overindulgence in foods which were not to her best interests. And I explained to her that having increased weight on your body is due to one reason. And you can look at it from either side of the coin. Either you're eating more than you're burning off, or you're not burning off the amount, what you're eating. Same thing. That means if you don't get enough exercise and activity, then there's going to be that weight, that storage of calories and everything else is going to be stored in your body for hopefully future use if you think you really need it. But that is one of the aspects that we would get into later on in our conversation. But first I want to know about the consumption of calories. And I told her that, I says, you really need to get away from the sugared drinks. And that can be sugared fruit drinks, that can be sugared sodas. The research that I've seen come out has pointed out that even diet sodas, as much as they're claimed by the manufacturers as, well, this is good diet soda, because we always look at losing weight as being a diet, which I think sometimes there's a big difference of going on a diet and having a healthy diet. I don't want this lady to go on a diet. I want her to change her diet and have a healthy approach to eating. So we discussed the fact that her husband who's also way overweight, would come home with the six packs of sodas or the large bottles of sodas, and the kids, who 2 out of 3 or 3 out of 4 were all overweight. I told her, I said, if she wanted to stay like the skinny one, then she had to need to eat like he did and get as much exercise as he did, because there was one that was full of energy and burning a lot of calories. So we talked about the amount of bread that was being used. We talked about some of the things that you can do in changing what you're eating. Didn't seem to be a great love of fresh fruits and vegetables. And so I encouraged her to bring that more into the diet. Instead of cookies or processed sweets and things like this for treats, that fruit, good source of natural sugars, is something that is delicious and sweet and wonderful. But fruit can be a great, great substitute. And we talked about how the quantity of food. Were you somebody who cooked a great big pot and put it in the middle of the table and just everybody ate until the pot was empty? And if you cooked more, they would eat more. It's like going to the restaurants and saying, supersize it, give me more, give me more. And you sit there and you eat more. I know I was discussing her that I said, when I go to a restaurant, I don't always look for all the choices that might be there because most of them are more than what I care to eat. I ask them, I said, do you have a soup and half sandwich? Or I will split a meal with somebody. First place, it's a lot cheaper. Second place, it's enough. Most restaurants serve more food than you really need to consume, especially if you're going back to an office and going back to some place where you don't exercise, where you're not getting the physical activity, where you're not going to burn off those calories. So all of this was beginning to change in the way she was thinking, because this is what we as a society need to do. We need to look at how we can change the way we're thinking about the environment around us and what we need to do. That's kind of like being responsible for yourself. Now, if you don't have the answers, then I suggest you go to those who may have the answers. If you want to know more about exercise, there's a lot of experts in gyms. Some of them are good, some of them are not. There's exercise physiologists. If there's certain weaknesses in your body that you need to strengthen, there's a lot of good nutritionists, and there's a lot of doctors, medical doctors, a few, because they really did not study nutrition, but some of them have. They've gone out of their way to learn more about nutrition. Most chiropractors know more about nutrition than medical doctors, and many of them have spent a lot more time in bringing this into their practice. But there's other health professionals that you can seek advice from the natural perspective of what you should eat. Now, how successful this young lady is going to be, we've yet to see. But I hope and pray for her sake, she will grab hold of her area of responsibility and start making the changes. And when we come back, we will further discuss how we're going to find solutions for our health.
Building a custom home or business is a huge deal. For some, it's the largest project they'll take on in a lifetime. Choosing your team may be the most important part of ensuring a successful building project. Starting a project by working closely with Core Design will create what's just right for your lifestyle and your property. But selecting the right builder is perhaps the most important part of creating the team. At Core Design's, customer service, quality craftsmanship, and integrity are the keys to our company philosophy. Your custom construction dreams are just a phone call away. Core Design at 213-453-1609. Once again, that number is 213-453-1609.
The experts know that for pastry, Baker's Bodega has it all. Exclusive brands like Westco Bankmart, Satin Ice, and Pastry Pride. One-on-one day seminars for cake decorating and gelatin art. So for our service, wide range of ingredients and supplies, and for the low prices, Baker's Bodega has it all. But you don't need to be an expert. Baker's Bodega, 7869 Paramount Boulevard in Pico Rivera. Come, we're waiting for you.
A home is the biggest investment in most people's lives. Buying or selling should be a positive experience.
Whether you want to be a wealthy real estate investor or just trying to find a place to call home. At AJR & Associates, we focus on the client's needs.
We understand the market better than most. Let us bring the value to you and make the right choice.
AJR & Associates, making your dream house a reality. Call us today for a free consultation at 562-882-1976. Or you can log on to www.agrrealtors.com.
With a track record of great results, bringing knowledge, wisdom, and expertise to you. Hablamos Español.
And we're back. This is Solutions for Life, and I'm Dr. Gerald Coy. In the first segment, we were talking about a consultation I had with a lady who needed to lose a lot of weight, because the first part is really, and the most important thing in life is prevention. We had this conversation. In fact, the conversation we had with her took over an hour's time. This consultation was at the Share Clinic. The Share Clinics are supported by the Share Foundation with an ability to pay program, and her consultation, by the way, was free, that hour of time, to help her find a healthier life. If you would like to know more about the programs of the Share Foundation and the Share Clinics, give us a call. We're at area code 562-776-1727. That's area code 562-776-1727. There is no charge for a consultation. If you'd like to discuss your health and issues in your health or get another opinion, please call us and we will set up an appointment for you. So the first segment is about your responsibility and making changes. We talked about eating. We briefly talked a little bit about the aspect of exercise. But now I want to get into the crux of the problem with a lot of our healthcare services, and that is with bad doctors and greedy attorneys and the pharmaceutical companies that have influenced our healthcare system to the point where it is in crisis. One of the major things in dealing in this area is to find out who's a bad doctor. Well, bad doctors get sued. Unfortunately, they still practice. They get sued again, and many times they never seem to leave the practice, and innocent people find their way into those clinics and into those services and become damaged. I want to remind the audience that in the book I wrote, Solutions to the American Health Crisis, on the cover, I talk about the 100,000 deaths due to doctor, drug, and hospital errors every year. I practice in the city of Downey. That is like every year the city of Downey was wiped out. Everybody, every man, woman, and child was killed, was murdered, was destroyed, no longer a life force. And that's only in the errors. We have the overdoses, such as that which took the life of Michael Jackson with the help of a medical doctor who's been convicted, unfortunately, not soon enough, I think. But there's over 32,000 accidental deaths due to overdoses. And if you look at some of the other errors that are made in other aspects of healthcare, the mounting of bodies increases by tens, if not hundreds of thousands. So we have a serious problem. Everybody believes, no, this can't happen to me, but yet it's easy. I think I had related recently that I have a nephew that was badly injured in Texas. A building fell on him, and it crushed his body, damaged his liver. I had the wonderful and delightful aspect that today I spoke to him. He's still alive. And for the emergency medical services that he received, I am eternally grateful, and I appreciate all those hard-working medical staff members that saved his life. Because his lung had collapsed, his liver was almost split in half, and his body was badly injured. And this was about 6 weeks ago. But what I was disappointed in was his mother, my sister, was there to comfort him and to be by his bedside and to assist with follow-up of care, because she too is a doctor. And she wanted to make sure that he received the ongoing care necessary. In my conversations with her on a daily basis, the frustration, the aggravation, the anger at the negligence, at the stupidity, at the mistakes that could affect our relative's life, my nephew, her son's life, were perpetrated almost on a daily basis. There were good nurses and there were bad nurses. There were good therapists and there were bad therapists. And had she not been there, we worry, would he have survived, even though The crisis had been averted and he was alive, but the healing process, and the treatment he was receiving, he was now being over-drugged. He was lacking the therapy he needed. People were not using common sense in the follow-up care that he needed. Drugs that was causing hallucinations, rashes developing on his body. And when you get a call from the one you love, your sister, that says he seems to be slipping back, the gut-wrenching feelings you have frightens you. And I realize that that's what so many people are going through out there. And how do you prevent it? You know, had his mother, a doctor, not been on site, I worry whether or not he would be still with us because of the kind of care that was related. We are not pleased with the hospital in Dallas that he's in. To have someone come in and help clean the body and then use those same gloves to be used on a trach that can cause infections, that's negligence. There's a lot of bad things that happen to a lot of people. You know, the hospital is not a clean place. There's more damaging viruses and things in a hospital than any place you want to go. So maybe the solution in hospitals, if it isn't life-threatening, is to get out of there as fast as you possibly can. I believe that births need not be in hospitals. Oh, medical doctors say, oh, they have to be. No, they don't have to be. I believe in cleaner, neater, more personalized birthing centers. 95% of the births should be natural process. It's the most beautiful God-given birthright that there is for each and every woman. But yet doctors will scare their patients, to scare these young women who are not used to it, to having their first child, into believing that the only place they can have their child is in the hospital, in case anything happens. That's how insurance salesmen sell more insurance. In case you need to be sure in. You don't want to be caught short. You don't want to have anything happen. Good medical services can determine the natural aspects of a birth, if they are more naturally inclined. Do you realize that 33% of births are not natural? They're cesarean. There is no medical reason for the birth rate of 33% cesarean to be there. So that's how we're messing up in healthcare. This is why maternal mortality and infant mortality is so high. There's all sorts of horror stories coming from just the process of birthing. I had talked to people about the risk that doctors pose in healthcare, because I was told by a medical doctor that I was a risk to the American public. When I informed him that my malpractice insurance was less than my attorney paid and less than what my accountant paid, and I asked him how much he paid, which was 10 times more than what I paid, I informed him that he was 10 times the risk to the American public. Why do you think some doctors have to pay $100,000, $200,000 a year to be able to practice? There's a problem there. There's a problem in medicine by not cleaning up the bad doctors. There's a problem in insurance companies who will pay out outlandish fees that shouldn't be for errors that are not negligent. Difference of opinion. You know, we as a society demand that the lawsuits in professional liability be like winning the lottery and ask for $100 million suits. It's not so much to our benefit as it is for the attorney, who gets at least 50 to 60% of that claim. I believe in good attorneys, and I believe that there's a necessity for the protection of individuals. But unfortunately, it's like antibiotics. Antibiotics have tremendous benefit in healthcare, but they're overused. They are now causing more problems. They are causing the mutation of superbugs that there is no cure for or no resistance to, unless you maintain your own natural resistance. So when we talk about solutions, we've got to clean up our hospitals. We need to look towards natural birth. We need to look for natural forms of immunity. I had talked about this last week on the program, and we talked about it several weeks ago. There's a lot of individuals who are involved in immune services, immune activities from a company that has increased immune activity by many, many folds naturally. Products that are there that can do no harm, that have no toxicity. We said if you want to know about them, call us. We'll let you know what's available to you, because these are products that I use, that we use at the Share Clinic. Why? Because they help people naturally. It builds their immunity, improves their system, so that they don't need to go so many times to the doctors. The healthier you keep yourself, that's what we talked about in the first segment, prevention, then you don't need those bad medical doctors that you may be stuck with. And you don't need the drugs that may be given to you. And you don't need an attorney that's abusing their power. So these are some of the solutions that we talk about. What else can you do in prevention? When was the last time you walked around the block? What about exercise and taking care of yourself? One of those major elements. It's so easy to look for that closest parking spot, to get one of those carts in the big markets so you can ride around. Oh, this place is so big. But we need to exercise. One of the things I was talking to the lady who wanted to lose the weight is the fact that she's going to need to start exercising more. She's going to need to start burning off more calories. And so we look for this in people's lives. It's one thing if you're working in a job where you're physically active all day, and another one if you're sitting, or you're a bank teller, or you're sitting at a desk, or you're a receptionist, or you're in any kind of occupation. You're a tech of some sort, sitting at a computer with your mouse. By the way, that's what causes a lot of carpal tunnel syndrome, that continuous irritation. It's called microtrauma. Stiffen the wrist and be working under tension and everything else for hours and hours, and all of a sudden there's these wrist problems that come about. Preventable. But a lot of things are preventable if you take care of yourself. I was talking to another patient who was in a job that was abusive, basically. Now that's kind of hard, because that's your job. And when we come back, we'll talk about more ways and more solutions for life.
Nurses Life Express provides unique apparel for all the hardworking nurses that wear many hats. It is apparel that expresses nurses' amazing, humorous, and caring personalities. After all, nurses are as influential as their united goal to help others. Nursing's not easy, but somebody's got to do it. For more information, please call 562-270-4312 or visit their website at www.nurselife.com. www.nurselyfe.com. Nurseslife.com, where nurses' lives are expressed.
3 balls, 2 strikes, the pitch. Swing it.
Make your team look like pros with custom lineup cards. Whether you are a travel team, rec team, all-star team, or just some old guys playing slow pitch, we can make your team look a little better with some custom lineup cards. For the umpire, for the opponent, for the scorekeeper, for the dugout, no matter where your lineup card goes, you will look like a big league team with your team logo and name on top of your personalized lineup card. Just visit CustomLineupCards.com. With the best prices in town, you are sure to hit a home run with us. Visit CustomLineupCards.com and go pro.
Are you watching the game at home? Why? Come watch it at Mambo Grill, the hottest spot in Downey. You'll have good food, drinks, and a great time at a low price. We have the coldest beer in our sports bar, where you can enjoy the game on any of our huge flat screen TVs. And when your home team wins, you get 25% off anything in Mambo Grill. We're on Downey Avenue, 1 block north of Firestone, or visit us on the web. Mambo Grill, love at first bite.
Hey, bro, this is a good game. You know what would make it better?
What, bro?
A michelada.
A michelada? What's a michelada?
A michelada is somewhere in the middle of a Mexican Bloody Mary and a Mexican margarita.
Oh, I got you covered, bro.
You got a cup in your pocket?
No, sir. I got my pocket-sized michelada. Mucho macho michelada.
Pocket size?
Pocket size, so you can take it with you anywhere you go.
Where'd you get that at?
At the nearest convenience store, and you can also buy it at muchomachomichelada.com.
You know what will make it better? After we get drunk, if they had a line we could call.
We can call their drunk line. You can leave a message and then log on to the site and listen to your stupidity afterwards.
What's that number?
It's 855-MICHE-69.
What's that number again?
855-MICHE-69.
Awesome. Mucho macho michelada.
And I'm Dr. Coy, and this is Solutions for Life. You know, we've been talking about different issues. I continue to complain about bad medicine. Why? Because I want everybody to have a longer and healthier life. So we're looking at one of the challenges in life. I remember when the campaign about drugs was, just say no. I want you to think of what we are doing in this society. We have drugs that settle our stomach. We have drugs that get rid of our headaches. We put drugs in our eyes and drugs in our mouth. We put drugs on our skin. We have drugs to calm our nerves, and we have drugs to excite us. Some legal, some not so legal. We have drugs that prevent our pregnancies. We have drugs for muscle spasms, and we have drugs for our heart and for our brain and for our stomach and for our kidneys. We have drugs for all sorts of the problems. We have drugs because the body has been cut and maybe inflamed, antibiotics and things like this. All sorts of drugs. And so what are we teaching our kids? That anytime you have any situation that is uncomfortable, that you don't like, the solution is with drugs. Isn't that what they're doing? Isn't that really what we have taught them? So I have the famous saying that I use over and over again, what you do speaks so loudly they don't hear what you say. I mentioned that about my father. My father was a smoker, as there are still 41, I believe, million smokers. 41 million smokers out there. Ladies and gentlemen, young people, you're killing yourselves. You're destroying your body. Why do you want to do that? It's not fun. It's not sexy. It's not classy. It's not masculine or feminine. It is simply grown weeds that you're burning up in a piece of paper and putting the damaging fumes into your lungs. And it's not healthy. Wouldn't you rather be out surfing? Wouldn't you rather be going out dancing and having a good time? Wouldn't you rather be alive for another 10, 20 years? Because that's what it's taking of your life. That simple thing of smoking, let alone the other abuses we have in our life, but is probably the one of the worst. And now there's a new thing, electronic cigarettes. Don't know that much about it. Can't say good, bad, or indifferent. But all I know is that if it's not fresh air that's going into my lungs, I really would prefer not to do it. So I don't know what the vapors are. I don't know if they have any chemicals in them, but I would be leery about even the electronic smoking. And I guess what offends me is the fact that it's pseudo-smoking. It's making it okay to look that way. I don't know about everybody in my generation. You remember the candy cigarettes? Oh, I had candy cigarettes, and they were a white piece of candy with a little red tip on it, and I walked around looking like I was like my father. And so my father said, son, don't smoke. It's a filthy habit. But I loved my father, and my father could do no wrong. I wanted to emulate him. So guess what I did? I smoked. But then I have a personality that doesn't like anybody in control of my life. I'm pretty strong-willed in that way. And there was one day after I'd smoked for about 6 years, I realized that I had to have a cigarette. I need a cigarette type attitude. And it dawned on me that that smoking habit was controlling my life. And I put the cigarette back in the package. I laid it on the table. And as I got ready to leave where I was staying, they said, "Oh, you forgot your cigarettes." And I said, "Throw them away. I no longer smoke." And for the next 42 years, I never smoked. And don't plan on it now. So that is something you have to change in your lifestyle. Walking more, being more active, so very important. And it can be fun. You know, gentlemen, I can think of few women, few mothers, few wives that don't like to be taken out for dancing. It's great exercise. I have some Latin patients that come into my office, and I always kid them because they have maybe some spinal problems, some neck, shoulder, back problems, other problems that are in the body manifested. And I will tell them, I say, "Oh, we've got to get you active again. We've got to get you out on this, doing the salsa, moving the body." And they just laugh about it. But it's the truth. It's great exercise. You don't have to go to a gym. You don't have to have membership in a gym. Gardening is an exercise. I think of all the little old ladies and little men who are out there working every day in their garden, planting flowers, planting vegetables, working every day, keeping their bodies active, keeping the circulation going. That, you know, having a pet is a wonderful asset in life. There's something wonderful about the unconditional love that an animal can give you. But it's okay to take them out on a leash for a walk. Take the family for a walk. It's a great time to have conversations. Leave the cell phones at home. There's no emergency that's going to be necessary for you to take it with you. But get out and walk around the block. Walk around a couple, 3 or 4 blocks. Use the body. Assist the digestion. So you don't need to take a laxative. You don't need to take other medications for your digestive tracts because you're doing things naturally. You're preventing the problems. So we're looking for solutions. So lifestyle is a major aspect of that you need to change in many people. Quitting smoking, getting more exercise. You are what you eat. And the more you eat, the more of you there will be. Dental work, necessary because of the foods we eat and not taking care of our teeth. It creates toxicity. You know, I remember as a youth, I looked at my grandparents and parents. I saw my grandmother in her late 50s with her white hair and her frumpy-looking house dress and her sagging skin, her white hair, you know, at 58. She was my grandma. Now I look at her granddaughter, my sister, who's in her 70s with dark hair, active, doing things, driving from Las Vegas to Texas to take care of her son. Totally different world. We can be more active. We can do more things. I remember my grandmother didn't drive, but they kept active. They had their chickens that they raised, and they had the garden that they hoed and picked and brought in natural foods into the house. I recently wanted a garden, so I had a garden. I had fresh tomatoes, and I had fresh corn, and I had other fresh vegetables. It was wonderful to bring into the home and know that I had grown them. It's the old farm boy instinct in me. You can't do all that in an apartment building, but your shopping can reflect it. It's often been said that when you go to the market, you go on one side and get usually it's your milks and your meats, and across the back and your eggs, and on the other side are your vegetables and your fruits, and head for the sand, because what's in the middle is the least important. You don't need to buy that much bread. You don't need to buy that much processed food. But if you start going up and down the aisles, ooh, that looks good, let me buy that. Or wouldn't it be nice to have that? Go in with your list of what you need to make. Start planning what you're going to consume. This is one of the recommendations for the lady who wanted to lose weight. I said, you're in control. You're the one that does the shopping. Well, she said her husband did buy the soft drinks when he came home. I said, well, you need to talk to him about that and get him not to buy them. But what you buy is what you're going to cook. It's what's in the refrigerator. It's what your kids are going to be reaching for. You buy Twinkies. I thought they were gone, but they've come back. But if you buy products like that heaven only knows what's keeping them fresh for a month or 2 or 3 or whatever on the shelf, but they cannot compare to an apple. They cannot compare to a pear or to an orange or to a banana. They cannot compare to some nuts and other nice dried fruits and things like this that make excellent snacks, but you have to buy them or the kids won't eat them. Sometimes they go through a little bit of a shock and have a little bit of difficulty with it, but in time they learn. If you teach them right in the beginning, they don't even know about these other things to any great extent. And I'm not saying that they're all that bad. Once in a while to have something, have a free day, have whatever you want, have a slice of pizza or something like this. Hey, there's no great harm. But in the overall diet needs to be healthy. And when you go to the store, what you buy, again, what's going to be in that refrigerator. Think about what people are looking for. If you have a jug of cold water in there, that tastes good. You can put a little bit of lemon in it to give it a little bit of a flavor. Cucumber slices, something like this, it'll give it a little bit of a fresh vegetable or fruit flavor, a strawberry. You can doctor things up naturally to add a little bit of flavor to them. Because I was telling her, I says, when you do your cooking, make sure it has flavor. Make sure you use the natural herbs and spices that give it a bit of a kick, give it some pizzazz, because you want people to take notice of what you're eating. This thing where you have to have, they talk about having a slab of fish or a piece of chicken or something like this, and it's like it has to be grilled to this, and you get this image of something that doesn't have any flavor. And yet there are so many wonderful flavors you can create. I told her to get online, find out how to make dressings using yogurt instead of mayonnaise. These are all the things that you can do to create solutions in your life so you can have a healthier life. And we'll be back in just a moment.
Been in an accident? Then you need your vehicle professionally repaired. That's exactly what you get when you bring your vehicle to Greg's Auto Body Repair. 3 quotes within minutes. We will provide everything you need for a hassle-free auto body repair, from an accurate estimate to working with your insurance company. We will get your vehicle to its pre-accident condition as soon as possible. Greg's Auto Body has been serving Los Angeles County and local cities since 1970. Call us at 562-789-1300.
Looking for a delicious, fresh family meal that's ready when you are and easy on your budget? Welcome to Piara Pizza. We make our pizzas with handmade dough, 100% real cheese, and tomato sauce blended with our own spices. Nothing is ever frozen. We always have large pepperoni and cheese pizzas fresh and waiting for you for only $5. Or choose one of our specialty pizzas. We have veggie, meat lovers, supreme, and Hawaiian. Add an order of our amazing hot wings, cheesy bread, or breadsticks. Our locations are ultra-modern, ultra-clean, and open 7 days a week. Visit any one of our locations today, or check us out on the web at www.piarapizza.com. Piara Pizza. Fresh, hot, and ready for you when you come in. Stop in for your Piara Pizza today.
The Share Foundation is the health division of the Coy Chiropractic Institute, a 501c3 509A2 public nonprofit organization dedicated to the growth and development of the natural health care services, in particular through the chiropractic profession, offering health services at the Share clinics in the greater Los Angeles area. Your donations can help in expanding these facilities across the nation, research programs, and public education, thus offering a solution to the many of the health challenges we face. Your donations are tax-deductible and can be sent through our website at www.sharefoundation.com. That's www.cherfoundation.com by clicking on the donation button. Thank you.
Number one. Number one.
Is that a stutter or as high as you can count?
I was ordering number one. Tequila.
Everybody's asking for number one.
Great, another fancy bottle.
These guys are true artists. Never compromise integrity. They make tequila
Come
in the
on.
fashion. Never mass produced.
So what are you saying?
I'm saying have the number one. Anything less is number two. Number one! Number one, tequila.
We are the Three Guys Rant with Arvin, Mike, and Phil.
Coming to you on the Rant Radio Network every Monday from 6 to 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. You can call us at 855-69 The Three Guys.
It's not the Three Guys. This is why you should turn in, because one has Tourette's, the other one's illiterate.
You really should listen in. You never know what's going to happen.
855-69-3-GUYS, G-U-Y-S, and the number 3, not the.
Faces for radio, voices for the deaf.
Look forward to talking to you.
Hey, I'm audio candy. I don't know about you guys.
And we're back. I'm Dr. Gerald Coy. This is Solutions for Life. And we're talking about exactly that, solutions. Solutions that you can implement in your life, because you're the one that's going to make the appointment. You're the one that's buying the groceries. You're the one that's going to have to do the exercise. So prevention is the key to better health. This program has been brought to you by the Share Foundation, and the Share Foundation also has the Share Clinics. These Share Clinics are ability to pay facilities. They are anybody and everybody's welcome to come. We offer consultations at no charge. We can discuss nutritional issues, health issues, your health care that you need or what can be of benefit to you, how chiropractic might be a part of your health care services. And we are available at the Share Clinic, the Share Foundation, at area code 562-776-1727. That's area code 562-776-1727. We've been talking about solutions to the American health crisis. This is the book, Solutions to the American Health Crisis, written by yours truly, Dr. Gerald Coy. And anybody that will call me, first caller today that would like this book, I will give that book to you. It's $30. You may buy the book also. It goes to the Share Foundation as a donation. So anybody that calls in today, the first caller will get that book as a free gift. But I wanted to go on and kind of conclude our program today about different things that you can do. We could have this conversation for days and probably weeks. About all the things that need to be changed in your life. But let me go over the one area that I'm really the main expert in, and that's chiropractic care. We've had a doctor of chiropractic on. We discussed her practice and some of the things that she is doing in healthcare, working with sports individuals. She loves golfing and helping a lot of wonderful people out there. But most people don't really understand what chiropractic is. You know, chiropractic was discovered in 1895 by a Dr. D.D. Palmer, looking for a solution to health problems of his time. And this was, again, the late 19th century, not even into the 20th. And he discovered in putting pressure on the spine, because he had evaluated someone had come into him that had difficulty in hearing. and he found that this person had had an accident, an injury in which it had affected their spine, and he thought, and he says, this accident, this problem, maybe I can reverse the process. He gave the first chiropractic adjustment to that patient, and hearing was restored. Now, you would think that everybody that was hard of hearing should go into a chiropractic office. Probably should. And find out if under chiropractic care their hearing might not be improved. Even though that was the first chiropractic patient 118 years ago, my father, when he was under chiropractic care, his hearing would be dulled, but he'd go in and get adjusted by the chiropractor, and his hearing would be improved. So it taught me the lesson that how that improved your hearing. The one who got me into chiropractic was my mother. My mother is now 92 years of age. She's the one that's also given me a lot of information on nutrition and a lot of areas about natural health. But she's been going to a chiropractor, myself included, for over 80 years. She started as a young girl when she was getting migraine headaches. All you migraine sufferers should consider chiropractic care. Yeah, I have seen individual children who are bedwetters because they fell off or had a sporting injury, and where they had no longer wet the bed and everything else, and all of a sudden because of the trauma affected the nerves that controlled the bladder, and they started losing control. They started wetting the bed. All bedwetting children should be under chiropractic care. I've had children of all sorts of problems, from asthmatic to other health challenges and breathing problems and pains and discomforts, that have benefited because of chiropractic care, naturally. No drugs. Everyone who has a spinal injury, unless it is broken, if it is broken, you need a top-notch orthopedic who's going to make sure that that heals. But once it is healed, you need a chiropractor. You need to be able to get it to somebody who can help the structural balance and the mobility be restored to an optimum degree in your body. You see, when your spine is out of place, and chiropractors call that a subluxation, a long word that means less than a dislocation. Subluxation means the spine is out of place. But when it's out of place, it affects the nerves in your body. And your nervous system is what controls the function of your body. It controls all function, directly or indirectly. If you interfere with the nervous system, not only the pain that might be manifested in leg pain or back pain or neck pain, but what happens if it goes to the intestines and they no longer work the way they were supposed to be? So you get constipation, or maybe you get diarrhea. To your stomach. I remember as a kid, I used to watch a commercial that said the drip, drip, drip of acid, and you needed to take your Tums for your tummy. And I always wondered, even as a small child, I said, why doesn't someone go up and turn off the acid? That's what chiropractic does. It gets the body functioning better. It helps the lungs, if there's interference, to function better, the diaphragm to work better, so your breathing, your circulation, your heart are all functioning better. When there is long-term interference, other things can go wrong in your body. Pathologies can develop. Your kidneys can be altered. Your liver can be altered. Your lung, your heart, all these can start developing gradual degenerative conditions that may cause very serious problems. But under chiropractic care, in maintaining the balance of the spine, the mobility of the spine, the body has the greatest chance to either restore its health or maintain its health. One of the best preventative measures that there is. Up on the screen, there's a picture of a medical doctor slicing open the back or a chiropractor adjusting the back, asking you which is safer, which is healthier. And you should always try the safest and the healthiest process first. Because you see, once the surgery's been done, you can't undo it. It's been done. So try chiropractic first. Try nutrition first. Do the things that are natural. Get your body functioning better. Give it the transfer factors that boost your immunity. Take the products that will help lubricate your joints and give your body the nutrients it needs. Eat properly. Buy the best foods you possibly can. Forget about the processed foods. You don't need it unless you're going camping, unless you're going someplace where they don't have the storage or don't have anything freshly grown. Okay, fine. Then you need those processed foods maybe. But at home, we live in California. hey, go to the grocery store. There's an abundance of fruits and vegetables for each and every person to enjoy. Buy those fresh fruits. Buy those fresh vegetables. Plan ahead. We have very, very busy and stressful lives. And the more you think ahead, the more you relax with your daily activities. One, it reduces that stress that is also harmful to your body. So these are all of the things you can help in the solutions. Be very careful of the doctors you pick. Make sure you are going to hire this doctor, or you're going to a clinic. Maybe it's an HMO. Find out whether or not this doctor has ever been sued for anything that you're going to them for. If he's been sued too many times, you may want to rethink it. Always ask questions. How come? What for? Ask questions about the drugs you're taking. We had a picture up on the screen that I believe that all pharmaceutical executives need to take their own medicine. It'd probably kill them too, like it kills so many thousands and thousands of Americans. You know, I am very critical, and I will rant and rave about the unnatural aspects of our health care, because we are harming so many of our citizens. And many of them are your loved ones, are your friends. Be careful with the trust you place in other people's hands. If they make a mistake, you pay the price. They don't die. You die. Your family member may die. Your loved ones, your neighbors, because someone wasn't there, like my sister for my nephew, to advocate on their behalf. Had it not been for her, I'm not too sure my nephew would still be alive. Because though I appreciate good medicine for emergency service and saving his life, I deplore the poor care that followed up. The dirty care, the infectious care, the damaging care that has hurt his body being able to totally recover. And I look forward to the day he can be out of the hospital and into more natural surroundings, getting the care he needs. So these are some of the things you can do. These are some of the solutions that we have for healthcare. You are the one that has to make the biggest decisions. It is your choice. You can choose to go to a different doctor. You can choose a chiropractor versus an orthopedic. You can choose nutritional products versus drugs. These are your choices. If the doctor says no, you want to know why. One of the biggest problems with natural health care is the fact that doctors say, no, you shouldn't take that, and they know nothing about it, because their ego will not allow you to take something that they don't know something about. And if they don't know anything about it, they'll say no. Even though some of these products are in their own PDR, they will say, oh no, you shouldn't take that. And they know nothing about it. That is the ignorance that many of these doctors have. So you need to ask them why. How come? Why are you saying that? If they want to give you a drug, I want to know what that drug can also cause. Listen to the full commercials that are on television. Listen to how they tell you how this may harden your bones but can also kill you, and how this may help your diabetes but can also kill you, or this can help your depression but also cause you to be suicidal. These are the drugs that are being pumped into our public airwaves all the time. We need to get the drugs off the air. If you want a solution, get them off the air. Doctors need to become responsible for the drugs that they are prescribing. They need to know. They don't need to be advertised. The doctors need to become responsible for these drugs. They've given up that responsibility. They let the patients come in and say, oh, well, I saw this on TV. I want to take that. Okay, here's your prescription. That's not health care. That's not proper medicine. That's definitely not good medicine. There's a lot of other choices out there, folks. Chiropractic is a choice. Nutrition is a choice. We had an acupuncturist on there as a better choice. We have so many. Exercise is a better choice. What you consume, the things you take, how you take care of yourself, are choices for a better and healthier life that you need to make. The doctor's not going to make it for you, and neither is government. We need to discuss this, but you're the one that needs to eat better, exercise, rest, reduce your stress, and have a much healthier life. And we'll see you again soon. Take care.